in the Bible, in the biblical worldview, there is not a one-to-one correlation between Christian morality and the laws that, if Christians were in government, that they should pass. It's not a one-to-one correlation. This means that the precepts by which Christians taught to live in the Bible do not and should not automatically translate into what should be enforced on everyone by law. Biblical lawmaking in human government is derived from two main sources: the promotion of the good as defined by Yahweh in the Bible, Yahweh's character, the promotion of good, and the natural seen world. So this is what's called natural law. It's a law that is reasoned. Therefore, any law to be proposed by a government in the Christian worldview is to be reasoned and debated so that the best possible law can be promoted. Bad or ill-reasoned laws create confusion and create injustice. The purpose of law in a biblical worldview is to establish, maintain, and preserve justice at a policy level, protecting the human person, their family, and their property from plunder, that would be criminal law, to ensure the fidelity, that means the truthfulness or the honesty towards contracts, and fairly judge disputes and lawsuits. While the well-being socially of the people is a shared responsibility. Do you get what I mean by that? So government in a biblical worldview do not have to deal with poor people necessarily, because in the biblical worldview, the responsibility to look after poor people in your community is on the Christian. It's not on the government. The people in charge of law stay in a certain box, and they don't go out of that box because they're going outside of their authority. The Bible is really clear. Law itself cannot produce or cause anyone to be righteous. Law and the enforcement of law does not change a human heart. So in the biblical Christian worldview, it's far more important for individual people to interact and engage with individual people. The love your neighbor. Law can only point to human frailty and identify unrighteousness or problem behavior. And injustice, law can only point to the injustice and direct human judges how to proceed. Laws cannot and will never fix any social problem or change any heart of a human. In fact, increasing laws upon laws upon laws and upon laws has the opposite effect. It increases confusion. It increases human suffering. It conceals human corruption, posing as a false righteousness, a legalism. Therefore, laws should be reasoned based on logic and natural principles, appropriate in scope, and described in specific enough language to resist interpretation outside of its intent, and to be used to favor one person or a group over another. There needs to be careful consideration what Christians should pass into human law. When Christians occupy political office, they should still live according to the high standards that the biblical worldview promotes for them. But the idea that every idea from Christianity needs to be represented in the form of law, one of the temptations is to create a governmental tyranny, a religious tyranny. But what Christians do, that has nothing to do with the biblical worldview. In fact, it is talked against in the Bible. When Christians occupy political office, they should be living according to the high standards, but legislate only those laws that protect and serve the community, being able to stay away from becoming a righteousness tyranny.